Alright, what is up, folks? So I'm coming back to the topic of dating. It's unbelievable since I uploaded my video 2.5 weeks ago on interracial dating. So that video has received over 2,500 comments. In this video, I want to focus on a few things. I want to talk about WomanFace. And by WomanFace, I'm not talking about Dylan Mulvaney WomanFace, okay? That's a whole different topic. I'll save that for Pride Month next month. I'm talking about real crazy ass bitches who put on a feminine woman face, who pretends to be feminine and based until they secure that ring, or until they give birth to a child. Then they pull off their mask and they show their true face. That's the woman face I want to talk about. And also I want to talk about the emerging trend of the soft guy era, and also men that are going their own way. And to be honest, I have many doubts about the future. I have doubts even about just going to a relationship, and this video is going to be quite personal. So all of the examples I'm going to be listing in this video are all 100% based on true story. So to all the modern women out there that's asking, where have all the good men gone? Okay, I'll give you an example. So I'm not even going to, go over to my mom. She has been divorced 6 times. I've mentioned this. Let's talk about my older half sister who lives in China. So my mom gave birth to my older sister from her first marriage. My sister currently, she has been divorced twice. She's completely bankrupt, and she's got to the point where she can't even afford to pay rent. So she actually inherited my mom's condo in China. So my mom is at the point where she's left with nothing right now, because that's one legacy that she had from her successful business, was that she was able to purchase 3 properties. And during her 6th divorce, she lost 2 of the smaller properties to her 6th husband, and she was able to keep the bigger condo. So during my sister's first marriage, okay, so her first husband wasn't particularly tall or good looking. He was a great guy. He had great moral values, and he was a great father figure. And unfortunately, during my sister's first marriage, she suffered from a miscarriage, and she also had an abortion. So she did not have a child from her first marriage. And during the first few years of their marriage, I mentioned before, my mom, she had a successful sauna business. So my sister and her first husband, they were both working for my mom, and they were making really good money. But unfortunately, after a few years, my mom's business started to suffer. This is mainly due to disputes with her 6th husband. So as soon as my sister's first ex-husband's income started to go down, so my older sister, she went on to have an affair with a much older, morbidly obese guy. So just like that, my sister completely wasted her first marriage all over nothing. She had an affair with this guy who was morbidly obese, and she filed for divorce, and she left her first husband. Now, that's not the crazy part, okay? Get ready for the trigger warning. So my sister, she will get pregnant once again during her second marriage. She will give birth to a daughter. But not long after giving birth, she will find out that her second husband actually has a harem of women. He's been sleeping with a bunch of 20-year-olds. And I've said this many times before, many women just would prefer to be some rich guy's xiao san out there. They would rather be some side chick or backup tire than finding a guy that's actually on their level, that will treat them like a queen, that will treat them like a princess. What else do you think was going to happen? You find a guy who's much older, who's a multi-millionaire, who has a little bit of cash. Do you think that guy is going to commit only to you? So once again, this marriage only lasted a couple of years. My sister filed for divorce. And do you know why the vast majority of divorces are filed by the woman? It's very simple. Because women are almost guaranteed to get custody of the children. Women are almost guaranteed to get child support. They're almost guaranteed to get alimony. And remember, it's the guy that's the breadwinner in the marriage. So when a woman files for divorce, she can come into the marriage with nothing, and she can still get 50%. So she got a huge sum of cash payment from her second divorce, and she was able to keep custody of her daughter. However, the child support and the alimony and the cash payment, this was not enough for my sister. So every single day, my sister will use her daughter as a leverage to threaten her second ex-husband. Every single day, I've seen the text messages, I've seen the calls. She's constantly saying that, if you don't give me more money, I'm gonna do something to your daughter. Every day she's saying that, give me more money, give me more money, give me more money, and give me more money. Do you guys know what happened just last year? My sister's second ex-husband, he was put under so much pressure from my sister that he tried to do a sketchy business deal with his older brother. They poured a bunch of cash into it. Unfortunately, this business deal failed, and they ended up losing 20 million yuan. So 20 million yuan is the equivalent of 2.8 million US dollars. Do you guys know what happened next? He climbed to the top of a skyscraper building, and he jumped off. He had his brains scattered all over the concrete. This happened less than a year ago. Do you know what happened right after this? My sister messages my mom. Okay, she tells my mom to message me. Now I got a message from my mom. not about the suicide. My mom will go on to tell me that, oh, you're in Canada, you're making Canadian dollars. Now your sister, she has lost all of her alimony, she has lost all of her child support. So now whenever you can make some extra cash, you have to send it to your sister. This is a 100% true story. I'll give you guys another example. This involves my sister's best friend, okay? By the way, she lives in Yokohama, Japan now. She has got her green card. And because of her situation, I got into a massive fight with my sister. So my sister's a best friend. So she's 10 years older than me. And she's very, very tall, especially for Asian girls standard. She's probably around 5'10", 5'11". And when she was young, she decided that, the best case scenario for her was to leave China. And the country she decided to move to was Japan. And I think when she was 18 or 19, right after high school, she did not go to university or anything. She went straight to Japan to look for a husband. See, she had a plan in mind. And when you look at her, she seems like a very decent girl. Not crazy attractive. I would say probably mid on average. But, she is tall. So, if there are guys out there that likes tall women, it certainly is an advantage to her. And obviously, I mentioned before, men value purity, men value youth, men value beauty. And she went to Japan as an 18 or 19-year-old virgin. Right? She was not a hoe in high school. And just a few years after she came back from Japan, and she had a daughter. And her daughter was also best friends with my sister's daughter. They were playing around. And I remember her coming back because at this time I was back in my hometown as well. And she handed her parents 300,000 yuan as a cash gift. That's about $42,000 US. And she also bought her parents a brand new condo. And she also bought herself a brand new car. And I started having a lot of questions. And my sister started shaming me. She said, oh, look at my best friend. She went to Japan. Now she's got all of this going. Now she's living the life of a millionaire. She says that, you're living in Canada. How come you're not bringing any money back? How come you're not buying us any stuff? You're not buying us a condo. You're not buying us a car. And I got into a massive argument, and we got into a major fight over this. So in the end, I did some investigation, asked a bunch of people, in my family circle and in my sister's friend circle. And I found out, do you know what happened? This is what I mean. Women are born with values, okay? A man can only receive love in this world, giving the condition that he can provide financially, okay? Only women, pets, and children are loved unconditionally. As a guy, if you're broke, nobody will give a shit about you, okay? Remember that. So what she did right after she moved to Japan was that, it's extremely difficult to get a green card. So she decided that the best thing to do was marry a Japanese husband. And she wasn't going to marry someone that's broke. So she actually married a Japanese gangster. And from what I understand, he's actually part of the Yakuza. Okay, I have to give her credit because I could never pull off something like that if I was in her situation. I mean, she could have ended up on CSI Yokohama. She could have been brutally raped and dismembered and had her body buried in a cave somewhere in remote Japan. But, hats off to her. And obviously, she wasn't acting like a bitch when she approached her husband. She acted all nice. She says, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're so rich. I love your Lamborghini. You have so much money. So she basically rizzed up this Japanese Yakuza gangster. They got married. And right after they got married, she got pregnant and she gave birth to a daughter. Do you know what's the first thing that happened right after she gave birth to a daughter in Yokohama? She went to the family court in Japan and she filed for divorce. Do you know what happened right after that? That's what I'm telling you. It's not a family court, okay? It's a woman's court, okay? She was given custody of the child for the next 18 years, and her husband was ordered to pay child support and alimony for the next 18 years. And she was also, from what I understand, given a cash payment of somewhere between 1 to 2 million US dollars. This is what I mean by WomanFace. And this is why so many guys are so done with dating or getting married or entering a relationship or even considering starting a family. Because there are so many modern women out there that are like this now. And remember, I'm not talking about woke Western feminists. These are all Chinese women. These are just two scenarios I've given you. I have so many cases that I can keep listing for the next 2 hours because I mentioned before, almost every single member of my family has been divorced at least once, many 2, 3, 4 times. My mom has the most, she has 6. It's not the man who are leaving. In every single scenario, it's the woman that filed for divorce. And men have everything to lose in the divorce. Because, for example, I can find a Chinese girl, we can get married, let's say I had a daughter, and there's no fault in a divorce. She can literally go to the court and say that, I'm not happy, I'm being abused. and that she's going to get custody of my daughter. And let's say she can take my daughter and move to Switzerland or something, and I'll never be able to see my children again. I'll have to pay child support for the next 18 years, and I'm set to lose half of my net worth all over nothing. This is why so many men are entering their soft guy era in 2024. They're talking about Drizzle. This is why so many men would never even considering enter relationships again. This is why so many men are going their own way. The reality is, there are very, very few high-value women left in this world. Think about all the male celebrities that had divorces filed against them. Like, think about Kaka, right? His wife filed for divorce because Kaka, the football player, was too perfect for her. Tom Brady had a divorce filed against him. Even Brad Pitt. I'm talking about Brad Pitt. I consider myself to be a normal guy. You know, I'm a 5'8", 165-pound Chinese guy. If Tom Brady, a guy with more championships rings than Infinity Stones, and Brad Pitt, if they can't keep a marriage together, what chances do I have? The human population collapse, it's definitely coming, because we're approaching the end of true love, dating, marriage, family, and children.
Say now, I remember better days on the playground, hoping I can find my way even when I'm feeling down. I fight, even when I don't.